setting up your departments and projecting your sales. In the first session, we indicated that the only answer to how much should I buy is open-to-buy planning. We indicated that there's nothing but benefits. You'll have accurate buying plans, leaner inventory, better balanced inventory, faster turning inventory, reduced markdowns, positive cash flow. And we talked about who needs open-to-buy planning. And basically, every retailer needs open-to-buy planning. The rules of open-to-buy are that we deal in terms of retail dollars. We work by department of merchandise rather than item or vendor. We work by the month, and we work as of the first of the month to ensure that each month we have the right amount of merchandise on hand to support the sales we anticipate at the turn rates we want to achieve. And we work 12 months into the future so that you always have a buying plan no matter when you're asked to make a buying decision. The open-to-buy process is broken into two halves. The first half is the setup, which we'll work with in this session. And that begins with identifying your departments. And you want your departments to be truly representative of the way your customers shop in your store, defined enough to give you good information, yet not so defined that you're hamstrung in the marketplace. And here's some examples of what you might see in a giftware shop in terms of departments. Now, you may carry all of these areas, or you may specialize in certain ones, in which case you'd probably want to get more defined than what you see here. This is just to kind of align your thinking that we work by category, which we call departments, rather than items or vendors, because the items and vendors are constantly changing. Once you have your departments set up, then you want to go ahead and project a 12-month sales plan, and you can do that in one of two different ways. If you have history, if you've been operating, and you've been keeping track of your sales in the departments that you want to work with in your open-to-buy plan, we suggest that you use the most recent 12 months as the predictor of the next 12 months. No one has a crystal ball, and saying that the next 12 months will be the same as the past 12 months is an excellent way to get started, because your open-to-buy plan will revise at the conclusion of each month based on the way things are trending. If you're a new retailer planning a store or just opened and you don't have history, that's not a problem. There is no reason not to set up an open-to-buy plan. You just use percentages, and I'll show you how to do that. So to set up your open-to-buy plan, the only number that you need is your total annual store sales, either actual or projected. And if you don't have that number, you have to come up with that number. It's that simple, because otherwise you're just going to go out and buy merchandise and hope to sell it, and that's the worst thing you can do. What you need to do is to plan what you're going to sell and then buy merchandise to support that. So having that number, actual or projected, is definitely the way to go. Once you have that number, you can do everything else by percentage, and it's quite easy. Now, I showed you all of these various categories, but for purposes of our illustration here, we're just going to say we're going to work with 3 departments. Obviously, these are way too broad, but I'm just trying to illustrate a point. So whether you had 3 departments or 20 or 40, it doesn't matter. You would work and set percentages to represent their annual sales. And the nice thing about working with percentages is that they always add up to 100. So in this case, we percentage out the 3 departments, adding up to 100. Then you can apply the percentages and get the dollar figures. Very straightforward. Then the next step is to take each of your departments, whether it's 3 or 40, and break each department out into its monthly sales. So in this case, I'm going to show you Department 1. We take the 12 months and we percentage them out, adding up to 100, and then we apply those percentages to get the dollar figures. So now you have a dollar sales plan in each month for each department for the next 12 months. Again, if you had history, you would begin with that and work up, but without history, you start with your total annual sales and work down to the monthly sales dollars. Now, when we get further in the presentation to determine ideal beginning inventories, we're going to work with August, September, and October. That's why I highlighted this, but we'll come back to that, and I'll show this to you again later. One more note about special orders before we leave sales projections. Special orders are gravy. They're wonderful. You should take them even if you don't make much money on them, because it ensures that the customer will stay with you rather than going to another store. So go ahead and take special orders, even though sometimes they're a pain, but it's the cheapest form of advertising that you can come up with. However, since special orders do not involve risk inventory, you want to take them out of your sales projections, because you don't want to build a sales projection or an inventory based around that. So if you do 10% of your business as special orders in a particular category, you want to back that out. Another excellent idea is to put all of your special orders into a separate department. In our next session, we'll talk about turnover, and remember, the more you turn, the more you make. In the meantime, we invite you again to visit our website or give me a call with any questions you have, and thanks for watching.